The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here live for Deep Astrology, which is here on highvibe.tv. This is your weekly astrology forecast for the week of November the 12th through the 18th of 2019. And of course, we do this on highvibe.tv, where of course we have awesome exclusive content and we have awesome free content and tons of amazing talent on there, including moi, where you can get my daily horoscopes, my weekly sun sign horoscopes, my weekly tarot, my weekly intuitive, and all other special programs that I do on there. Make sure that you subscribe today. Check us out. Our apps are free on Apple, iOS, and you can get it on Apple TV, and you can get it on Roku, and you can get it on Android. And whatever else app is coming out there, it'll be on there. Or check out our awesome website, which is actually kind of behind me. Also, if you've never been on this show before, this is where I channel the astrology for you. We are gonna pound it deep to you. And then of course, I go deep into the charts, which are brought to you by Astrology, which you can get on iOS, Android, and of course you can get it on your MacBook, or you can get it on, oh, there's so many devices nowadays. If you're on Mac, go to Astrology. If you're on PC, hit up Solar Fire. And of course, this is sponsored by the wbros.com. Their awesome astrology collection for jewelry, which are awesome rings, which you can get in sterling silver, rose gold, and gold. And they've got it in necklaces as well. I'm wearing my Leo one right now. Make sure that you check it out because it's so awesome. Not only can you get this awesome Zodiac collection, but 10% of it goes to the ADAA, which is all about I think it's the Association for Depression and Anxiety. That 10% of that proceeds go to that, to support that. And I support that so much as somebody who has battled anxiety and panic disorder for years. And trust me, that is not a fun thing to go through in life. And I think mental health is one of the most important things that we all have to go through. And as we go into this week, is your mental health okay? It's been a little crazy out there. But I really feel that we have to look at the positives. And the reason why is, one, this is the last major full week of Mercury Retrograde. So we're almost through this one, everybody. And I mean, this one hasn't been horrible, but one thing about Mercury Retrograde, and it was kind of funny, we did spiritual dance music here last night. We had tons of awesome people here, and I want to thank all those people that came last night, and even some of the people that drove from all over across America for last night, which blew my mind, and I just want to give so much gratitude. And all for those that watch, of course, on High Vibe and here on YouTube. But Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio to me is a little bit of a slithery snake. Like, right when you think Mercury Retrograde ain't gonna do shit to me right now, is when the snake pops its head up and goes, ah! What the hell? Like, okay, I got the truth, I got it now. So it's really, especially with its trines over to Neptune, right? There's a lot of that hidden element, especially as Neptune is retrograde, Mercury retrograde is happening, right? So Neptune and Mercury retrogrades in trine and water signs and dealing with more hidden elements. Oh yeah, right when you're like, oh no, it's all good. Like, it's just, this Mercury retrograde ain't gonna affect this thing. Well, we have, so we're almost out of that. There's some positives, but you gotta deal with the snake for a little bit longer because it's not gonna be till next week, midweek. So just remember that in your head. 2, we are still in Scorpio, right? So the sun this week is gonna make an awesome sextile here to Pluto. It's actually happening right now as we're talking, which is pretty awesome because, 1, Pluto loves Scorpio. That's its home sign, right? But Pluto's in Capricorn. And so we got to look at this as like, this is the Sun and Pluto aligning. We just had a full moon in Taurus. I love full moons in Taurus. They remind us of what's important in our life, but they also remind us to make sure that we know what we're doing with the value of where we're putting our energy, you know, because manifesting really has to deal with in your life. I know that we can get all caught up in the secret and the secrets of manifesting and all that, but I think manifesting is just looking at the life that you just create, right? So it's like this creation force is powerful right now. The seductive qualities are powerful, but it's like, are you about to enter into a temple that, there's a lot of different kind of temples out there, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it looks really good on pictures and everything, and then you fly to the country and you go there and there's piss and shit everywhere. And you're like, oh God, I don't know about this, you know? And Taurus kind of reminds you to be like, did you like get a tour guide? Did you like make sure that you had it all like, all right, did you have the right boots on? You know, like there's this aspect of ourselves that we have amazing things to manifest right now, but we got to really weigh out and see if the worthiness is there. And I think that this has been a hard part because Uranus is really throwing a tailspin. You know, it's like you're flying, cruising, and then beep, 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 beep. That's Uranus, okay? Doesn't mean you're going to crash land, although trust me, Uranus crash landings are not fun. But you know, Uranus crash landings are like, okay, it looks like I'm going to die, and then you don't die. That's the one thing about Uranus. It's always every time that you think that's going to happen, it's the opposite of what it is, or it's just totally a different thing than what it is. But I want to say that this tailspin comes when you go into energies where you know the value is just not truly in alignment with what you're going to be putting your emotional, sacral, root chakra energies, you know? Like, you got to really remember that this is a very powerful time between the throat and this deeper root. And this is how we manifest, right? When we get this lower core up to right here and we bridge that power, that motor center, that extreme power force in ourselves. And we bridge that with that throat about whether we speak up for it. You know, when we are valued or we value something, we speak up for it. You know, when somebody cuts you in line and it's like at the DMV and you've been waiting an hour, that's a valuable line you've been waiting in. You know, you're going to say something like, hello, I was right here, you know. But, you know, if it's at the grocery store and it's grandma that's cutting in front of you, and trust me, those grandmas out there, some of them, they cut. Oh, yeah, they use that grandma. And you know what? God bless them. But you know what? I value that they do that. And I have, like, no problem. You know what? I have no rush. It's just a grocery store. Because I don't put that much value on waiting in line at the grocery store. But if it's DMV, oh, hell yeah, I've been waiting in this line for like an hour. I got a number, and you're trying to take over my number? Like, what the hell? You gotta look at life a little bit like that right now. Like, are you gonna enter into things that it's like, you know, the quality's really not there? And this Pluto is reminding us of that about our long-term goals and destiny, because Pluto in Capricorn has been here since 2008. It's a long time that you've been learning the lessons of like, what I put my energy into really does define my life path and purpose. And I know that it sounds so simple, but I really want to take astrology back to a simple terms in depth today, because things have been complicated getting up to this point. You know, astrology gets thrown out there more than ever now on video or a website, or people are asking me about books, and like, you know, it's just like, let's just get back down to the simple parts where it's like, one, Pluto in Capricorn. Let's just start there with the Sun in Scorpio and a nice sextile. Well, it's pretty simple. The energy that you commit to, Scorpio, the sun, your soul, you need to have wants, okay? Like, if you're restricting yourself from desires, that's like a starving little vampire that's like ready to crawl out of its coffin at like an amusement park, you know what I mean, at night, you know what I mean? Like, do not put yourself in a position like that. But at the same time, with Pluto and Capricorn, it's like, yeah, we do need to commit. We do need to put our thirst there. But is this on the same similar roads and paths that truly define the long-term goals that we want to reach in our life? And you can feel that there's an intuitive knowing of Scorpio that is so deep that it just knows. You know when someone's lying to you. You know when someone's being shady. You also know when something is truly divine, and you also know when something is truly in alignment with your life. And I just want to say that I know that that's just a basic transit, but really I think that we can just overpass a lot of these with these bigger transits that are happening. And I just want to say that that's a very powerful way to start this week with the full moon that was with Pluto, that this is a time where we can transform our life. We can actually have our desires met. We just got to have a good guide. And I think that with the new moon that was in Scorpio in opposition to Uranus 2 weeks ago, it's a reminder that who cares what it looks like or what people think if you know what's divine. This is where we're getting tested. If we're going to be a true collective, especially Uranus's major test in Taurus is whether or not everybody is comfortable in their own value about the way the collective looks. Now, I'm going to go into that a little deeper right now. So the best way to put it would be, 1, can you as a collective individual in a collective be okay with how everybody chooses their life to be? What happens if so-and-so decides to be with so-and-so, but like that's your best friend or that's your cousin or you know what I mean? Can you allow yourself to accept the values of everybody? We talk about love, we talk about light, we talk about this whole spiritual community is coming together as one. But when you get down to Uranus and Taurus, nobody's wanting to get together as one. You know why? Because everybody starts to get their Taurus craziness out. Like, oh no, no, like, that's mine. That's not yours. Or that's theirs. I can't have that because that was theirs. You know, everybody starts doing that. It's like, what the fuck? Really? I didn't know that ownership was on people. Uranus cannot own people. We all see how owning people has worked out in the past. Whether that's slaves or sex slaves or anything like that, that shit does not go down well. That's why Taurus reminds us that people cannot be owned. And we're in a world right now, especially with Saturn and Pluto, which are meeting up in Capricorn here in January, and I know you've heard me say that a million times probably. And of course, it was connected to 82 and 83, which you've heard me say a million times in Libra. And I wrote about this in my magazine, that we are all shifting in a way that relationships work and all this stuff. And this whole idea of this is yours, this is theirs, this is like, sorry, nobody is owned. And I think that this is a deep test, especially because this week relationships are going to be a major focal point. We have Jupiter and Sag at 26 degrees coming this week, finally, at the galactic center. This is important because this is a once in 12-year transit. Once. So think about this. The galactic center point is 26 degrees of Sagittarius. Jupiter is in its home sign, its dignified place. It is the Lord of Sagittarius. This is Zeus. This is Zeus at the center of the galaxy. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, it's a little Buzz Lightyear here. Buzz Lightyear, you know, when he comes in Toy Story, I'll be honest, if Buzz Lightyear wasn't in Toy Story, I would have never watched that movie. I would have walked out of movie theaters at 12 years old with my red ropes going, fuck this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I can't handle it. It's just a Woody and a blah, blah, blah. No, without Buzz Lightyear, that movie would have sucked. Let's be real. Sucked. Tim Allen was a man. You know what I mean? And Buzz Lightyear is right now at his home. Like, he is showing up right now at the moment like Zeus. Like, it is time for me to show up. But where's everybody showing up? Why is everybody so afraid? Is it? Jupiter's laughing right now like Santa Claus. Like, ha, 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 ha. By the way, it's almost Christmas with an eclipse coming up, right? So Santa's working really hard on whatever these gifts and coal will be for some people. But I will say that Jupiter's looking over and going, oh, why is nobody showing up? Oh, because they're all afraid. There's Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, the sign that deals with fear. And it's the tiniest little peepee of stings that you are allowing yourself. I said peepee because, of course, we're dealing with Scorpio. So it's the tiniest little speck of something that you will let the biggest, most greatest thing in your life happen, of fear. It's all these little things. Tiny things. Tiny. Buzz Lightyear's here. And I think that it's so important to pay attention to this, not only just because Jupiter's at this position this week, I love 26 degrees of fire sign. My rising's 26 Leo, my Mercury's 26 Leo, so I get the trine. I'm excited. But I have no idea what it's going to be. But I'm also not going to be afraid of whatever it looks like and whatever's there. And I'm not going to start getting all weird with Uranus and Taurus and start being like, well, who owns this? Or it's like, step up into your motherfucking value and own whatever Buzz Lightyear is trying to take you to infinity and beyond. Come on. I know it sounds so simple. But with Venus, this is why relationships are a big deal. I wanted to throw the Jupiter in there. So here's Buzz Lightyear, like Galactic. Or if you want to say intergalactic, let's go intergalactic, because it truly is. But with Venus going to square over to Neptune, and while the moon is out of this full moon and coming into Gemini, the moon in Gemini is going to oppose Jupiter for the last time, literally, for 12 years. I know that might sound crazy, like the moon opposed Jupiter, like as far as like in its home sign, and for especially in Sag. Or we can say this is the last time the moon in Gemini will oppose Jupiter for 12 years. Think of it that way too. That at that exact moment of that last opposition, it's squaring Neptune. So we're going to have a T-square. And here's Neptune, really drugged out, smoked out, Samson, you know what I mean? Like totally like, hey, what's up? You know, like cruising into the last degrees of the Pisces. 27th of November, it's going to come out of retrograde. Oh, and wake up. What? So whether you want to look at it from that standpoint of Neptune, or you can like give Neptune the whole like just like totally just lost. Like, I don't know where I'm going. Like, where am I? Like, it's a little bit like a dementia, you know, like, where am I? It's okay. You're over here. I've experienced a lot of people with that. I'll probably end up with that with my crazy brain, to be honest with you. It says it in my chart too. But it's a whole other story. But that's the whole thing of where it's like, this is either going to be this intergalactic story, and with Venus here, with projects and relationships, one, the Mercury retrograde is saying we need to be discerning and try and get as much facts, but it's a little bit lost, this Mercury retrograde, because it's in Scorpio. It's now behind the sun. I don't know if you all saw, but Mercury passed the sun, and they actually caught it on camera. It was that little tiny speck going in front of the sun. It was a true Cassini. Like, we actually had an eclipse of Mercury. And this eclipse really of Mercury to the sun is making you light up and see all of the little things that you fear about intimacy and commitment, or excuses about making commitments, to what is that intergalactic destiny, and what is the imagination, and what is the dreams, or what is it truly just you asleep behind the wheel, or lost with a big old freaking heroin needle in your arm, where you're just like, not paying attention, I don't know. This Venus square Neptune with the moon in Gemini. The moon and Jupiter are both like, because they're benefics, right? They're both looking at, you know, like this Venus too, that's a benefic. Like, man, she's a little bit lost, huh? Like, what the fuck is going on with her? Like, is she messing with that energy? Is she messing with that kind of person? Is she messing with that? Or has it been like, wow, this makes sense. This environment makes sense. This reality makes sense. And that's by understanding galactic energy. And I know that that's like a lot of consciousness to get up to, and some people might not even comprehend that. But galactic energy is the next cycle of evolution of our consciousness, galactic consciousness. And so we're at a really weird road because, one, you cannot be truly afraid of trusting an adventure that taps into the intuition of this feels like a galactic mission. There's something about Buzz Lightyear that is coming through to channel through you today of infinity and beyond. It should feel that way. But that Mercury in Scorpio is this like, I don't like this, or this is, and then that ownership of that Taurus, Uranus, and all that stuff of like, well, I don't know if I can. Like, I can't go with Woody because Woody's really like, isn't that the toy of the kid? And I was like, we talk about, the debate in America is, the free choice and whatever you want to do in your life, right? Freedom. Let's just go with that. Some people were thinking, I was going to go into specific subjects, but it's just freedom, right? That's what Uranus represents, freedom. How come everybody's afraid to be free when it comes to everybody has their own desires, everybody has their own values? And that's what it is. That's all it is. Like, if you can't accept that, it's funny. A lot of people talk shit about Hollywood and celebs, but when you watch celebs and how they like break up and then they go hook up with other celebs, like you notice like that world, this doesn't, like that's like normal. Like that's like nobody's freaking out. But you see that in like normal world and it's like, that's where I guess maybe, and this might trigger the fuck out of people, but maybe that's because people who have high self-worth kind of know how to deal with that, and people with lower self-worth start to turn into throwing cell phones at each other in the face. Like, that's my fucking ex-girl, man. You know what I mean? Like, some ghetto-ass shit, you know what I mean? That's lower vibrational. You want to go to high vibes in life? Step into the quality of not only yourself, but also, if things aren't connected in your galactic mission, then why are you concerned? If you're going to ascend to higher consciousness galactically, why are you still worried about the lowest vibration of vibrations, period? Like, right now, there's some wolf out there eating a bunny, and there's some lion getting fucked by another lion, you know what I mean? Like, like, are you worried about that right now? Are you concerned about that right now? I don't think so. What didn't even come into your consciousness until I told you about it right now. Unless there's a group of people out there that, I'm sorry, you have a disorder where all you do is think about other lions fucking lions and wolves eating bunnies all day, then I'm very sorry and I apologize to you all. But I do want to say that there is something about like Taurus deals with this ownership thing, this deep, and I'll be very even more confrontational today, your insecurities of your own worth. If something doesn't work out, or if something that was something that you valued goes somewhere else, right? Like, if it's not part of the mission, it's just like going into the, like on a spaceship when they go to the airlock and then they're like, throw it in the fucking airlock and just shove it out into space, right? Like, I think that's hilarious in my mind. Like, here on Earth, everything's got to have a trash bag. You'd be a litterer, right? Like, especially in this world, like, you do anything now, like, you drive a fucking car and you're killing the world, let alone you fart. That's going to be next. We'd be taxing you on farting. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Shit, man. But out in space, throw it in the motherfucking airlock and just shove that motherfucker out. Like, it's not part of the mission anymore. Like, okay. Like, forgot about into the nothingness. I don't know where it's going. It's just going out into the middle of fucking nowhere. How come you don't know how to do that? I don't know. And once we go through this crazy T-square, because it will bring up drama no matter what, but I think that drama is a good thing in life. That means that you're alive. It means that you're alive. If you're afraid of like feeling, period, with the North Node in Cancer, if you're afraid of feeling is a full feeling. You're going to get all the colors of the rainbow, even though there's like, I don't know how many. What's all the colors? I think there's like, I don't know. I remember though that Crayola had 64 and it had 128. I remember I would, Mom, I need the biggest one. And then I remember she bought me that one. And I never used like the 3 whites that were off-white and eggshell white or something. Like, you can't even use a white crayon unless you have black paper. I was like, I don't need this. Give me the 64, Mom. I'm chill. But all these colors of emotion are part of life. So when people right now are going into emotional waters in relationships this week, with all this finishing of this Scorpio energy that's intense, and we have a lot of thirst, we have a lot of needs, we have a lot of wants. You have to be willing to go into the emotion and be willing to go through all the colors. Because you cannot say and be honest to yourself if you say that you're fully emotionally committed to something if you're not willing to go through every emotion. I learned that with Saturn when it opposed my moon. I have my moon exalted in Taurus. So when Saturn was in Scorpio, that shit was hard. Because all my life was just about using those 1 or 3 or 4 colors that I love. But when the colors that I don't like to use, those Crayola crayons that I don't like to use came up, man, and I had to feel those, fuck, I didn't want to feel that shit. No, I don't want to feel this. So then I would try to avoid it, and guess what? Saturn's like, ha, 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 yeah, right, and especially in Scorpio. It's like, I'm going to come inside, and I'm going to fucking make you use that shit. I'm like, oh, God, Moon and Taurus, no. It's like teaching a cow to eat another cow. Like, no, what? Cannibal cows? Think about that one. That was kind of crazy. But this is where I think that people need to really realize that the galactic mission, the intergalactic aspects, fantasizing things that shouldn't be there with the moon in Gemini, looking at the data. But I also think that there is something to say about big squares to Neptune, and especially with Venus, and especially with the moon, and how that connects to a story. And a story that you have to use your intuition, you have to think about the commonalities, you have to look at the environment in which it's around, you have to look at the galactic center at the same time and be like, am I going to take on that mission and experience it? We have to go through experiences here. As I come into every week on Deep Astrology, I tell all of you that there's no more time left. On Friday, it's the 15th of November. That's only 2 weeks away from Jupiter leaving Sagittarius here at this galactic center point. If you just are going to push things off until next year, next month, next this, good luck. This is the time right now to go through experiences to know if it's your mission or not. You don't know until you know. You don't know until you've experienced it. But if you want to try and virtual reality this thing in hermit mode, on the fucking toilet, on your cell phone, on Instagram, go right ahead. Sounds really fun. You know what's sad is now on your iPhone, it'll tell you how many hours that you do that a week. So have fun. Count how many hours and see how many great experiences you have through the lens and the scope of people that are pictures and situations that are videos and all these things. Or are you going to actually experience it and are you going to feel it or are you going to go through it? That's when you go through things in life, when there's a fear, when there's a door, you must walk through it. That is the ultimate lesson of Jupiter in Sagittarius. And with Venus in Jupiter together and coming closer, you're going to be, and you got to remember that they're disappearing as the sun is getting closer to the sun, or the sun is getting closer to the sun, the sun is getting closer to Venus and Jupiter. They're going to start, right, when the sun sets, Jupiter and Venus are every night, getting closer and closer down to the descendant, which we're not going to see them. All right? And especially Jupiter, we're not going to see Jupiter because it's going to go through an eclipse on Jupiter. So not only is it just the timing of Jupiter coming into its fall position at Capricorn, but the way that astrology works is, I'm sorry to say, folks, that we are going to a position to where Jupiter's not, like in our view, like you gotta realize that we're gonna be far away from Jupiter. Far away. Way on the other side. Way on the other side. And I don't want you all to miss these doorways because you're afraid of going through experiences. Or you start worrying about what everybody else thinks and the values that they associate to you with them. I've had to go through that myself really intense this week. Even today, I had to cry on my mom with the phone about, and I'm not going to get personal, but I just like, there's experiences in my life that not a lot of people agree with that I go through in my life, even being an astrologer. That was an experience that blew the fucking lid off my shit. Thank God. Thank God I jumped the fence. Thank God I went to the experience. I wouldn't be here today. But you know, embodying that is not easy sometimes because I have to deal with all the colors of that Crayola, whatever you want to call it, like crayon kit, box. And most of the time it's great because I'm pretty good at disassociating from all the negative aspects and you're the fucking devil and you're psychotic, you're delusional, like there's no way that the planets influence our lives every day. 5,000 comments a week for 8 years. You know what I mean? Like, do the math. It's like crazy. And then when you get it in your personal life and you get it from family members or you get it from anyone, I mean, like, you've been 8 years down this road of doing this just every day, but I was with Chris Witecki in 2008 when I met him. In 2009, I was helping Soul Garden be in the Leo, like putting my ass on the line, even though I wasn't like some great astrologer, but I was like, hey, I'll be the Leo guy on the Leo room. And thank God that he gave me that door. And I took that door. And that was a door that everybody made fun of me about. I used to get made fun of, straight up. I'd be going to bars and stuff. And everybody's like, oh yeah, David does that weird thing where he's, you know, like this Leo guy in this room with people that talk astrology for years. And you know what? That whole time I was just like, I love this shit. I'm going to do it anyway. But I'm not somebody who's afraid of doors. So I think that the reason why that maybe Jupiter is trining my rising at the Galactic Center, and I was born with a Leo rising at 26 degrees. I was born with a Mercury there, and Jupiter's going to trine that. I think I know that my purpose to be here was to be authentic and to be real and to show you that galactic energy is authentic. Galactic energy is about the mission, but it's also about the experience and that you can't know anything without an experience in life. You can't. And this is the last week of Mars in Libra. So, talk about you worrying about what everybody thinks because you don't have the confidence to do it yourself. Or you don't have the confidence because you're worried about what someone else might think or being judged. So it's like, I'm not going to make any decisions that I really want to do because this person. I'm not going to do what I really want to do because that person. I'm not going to do what I really want to do because this situation. It feels like it would be unfair. I'd feel like I'd be judged. Oh my gosh, really? So we actually are set up for fuckery because here's the universe and here's Buzz Lightyear trying to open the doors. I'll be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people are going to walk through them. Everybody's too scared. I'm just going to call you all out. Here's Mars sextiling Jupiter for the first time in 24 years, at least. I didn't even check the charts. But I checked the charts for people to let you know that Mars did not sextile Jupiter 12 years ago. So that means 24 years ago it could have, in 1995. But I haven't done the math yet enough. I've been too busy. And I'm just here to tell you that I don't think a lot of people are going to walk through the door. I think everybody's going to sit in fear. I think everybody's just going to be like, no, I can't. And worry about all the, you know, I'm just talking to the whole spiritual community right now. Like everybody's talking about this whole ascend, and come to the highest vibration. And everybody wants to sit in lower vibration into their own guilt, not wanting to experience their fears, intimacy issues, and afraid to make a commitment to experiences because you can't know with this Pluto and the Saturn and Capricorn where to go until you have fully known. That is what Jupiter is about. I know 100% where the fuck I'm aiming because I have the experience and I want to see how far that experience is going to go. Because you don't know till you know. You don't know. Last night somebody asked me about, because in China, like at stores and stuff, it's all AI. Like, there's no checkers. Like, you just put your face up, buy the food, and go. But somebody was asking me about something in China, if they we were talking about bathrooms and how in California it's gender neutral, right? So I was saying we were talking about, a bunch of people and I were talking about that here, and I'm like, yeah, it kind of works for my advantage, because if the guy's bathroom's all fucked up and dirty, I just say I'm a chick and I'm gonna go and use the beautiful girl's bathroom, and then I feel bad for him because there's gonna be pee all over the fucking toilet. I try to clean it up, but we're men, girls' bathrooms are always nicer than men's bathrooms anywhere in the world. It's just weird. But they were asking me, are there boys and girls' restrooms in China? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's all AI, or maybe they have a little machine come up to you and go, and it does it all for you. I'm like, it better be soft. I don't know yet, though, until I go to China to find that out. Although, you know what? The beautiful thing about Jupiter is, I don't really believe I want to go experience that. So that's a quest I don't want to go on. But that's a pretty simple one to know. So when you're confused on which quest to go on right now in your life, that's one thing that you do know, is that beautiful Neptune, and as it's stopping, has been giving the veil this extreme thinness. Extreme! If you watch the dailies, extreme! Beep, beep. But what's beautiful about it is when it squared Jupiter all year 3 times, it embedded in you an imagination that you almost don't believe is possible and real. And whatever has been showing up in your life, especially when the time that Jupiter has arrived to this position, that Mars is sextiling it, that finally we're at this place to where, here we go. The biggest portal you've ever, the 1111 portal was yesterday. I go into that. I'm not a big portal person with numbers, but it just so happened that the Gregorian calendar connected with the astrology perfectly, so I'll call it a portal. But I'm here to tell you that this is it. And I know, you know what's sad is Jupiter's about hope and optimism. And that's what I'm always here to bring. But from what I'm seeing out there, and what I'm feeling, and what I intuitively feel, and the reason why I'm bringing this message, I'm going to bring it not to a disbelief level, but to a reality kind of Capricornian one and an emotional one of Cancer, is that I'm concerned. Because I don't think that people really are ready to be part of what they call the new earth, the new world, and really step out of the old one and truly, even if the experience goes to fuckery, at least and that's where you have to be optimistic and go, well, at least I got 2 more weeks left. Let me go see what other door will open, and the doors will open. If you watch Interstellar, the movie, when Matthew McConaughey is in the black hole and in the inter realms of these other dimensions, and he's pushing the book through, that's how it really is. It's not this cookie cutter, hi, Galactic Center, I'm here, hello, hi, this is the door, it's got the name on it, here's the key, walk on in, sit down in the little fucking, room and open the magazine and wait for fucking the doctor to come out. That's why Jupiter is at a horrible position in Virgo. Jupiter hates Virgo, by the way, because it's so constricted. And it's only thinking one-dimensionally. It's only thinking how it should look, and I want to see how the reality is going to look before I experience it. Jupiter doesn't know what the reality is going to look like. Sagittarius doesn't know. All it knows is what it wants to know. And I didn't even cover it. Mars does come to the end of Libra on Monday. I guess we're just going to have to go into the charts and show you. But I just want to give you this last concern. Because if you're not going to experience, then what the fuck are you doing here? That's what Saturn and Pluto are harshly going to do to you in the weeks to come. Because what's the purpose? Deep. I'm going to be deep right now. What's the purpose to be here? Why be here? The whole reason why Jupiter is dignified in Sagittarius is because we all came here for an experience, to learn, to grow. Not to sit and wonder and not go. So, Saturn and Pluto come around every time they come around. I've said this before, and some people go, Dave, you're way too dark, dude. I'm like, I'm not going dark. I'm just saying that, like, this is what the data shows. That people die in a weird way, like, whether it's through plague or there's just always this, like, and I think that this is more of a spiritual death that's coming to people, because people are going to go 2 weeks from now and go, fuck, all that shit was right there and I was too afraid. I found an excuse. Mercury in Scorpio in retrograde loves excuses. And it's always a facade excuse, right? It's a really good one in Scorpio. It's because it's very manipulative. Like the king of all excuses is always like, oh, you know, like I have something to do. Like I had, or oh, somebody didn't make it, they're sick, or somebody's not doing well. You know, everybody just like paints the picture of I'm really on my toilet on my Instagram. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck it is that you didn't want to go, or you didn't want to experience, or you just were too afraid to say, like, actually, I do not want to go through an experience with you and anything, whether it's business, personal, love, anything. Just fucking just say that. Just like drop the bomb. Like, yeah, sorry, like I don't really want to go through the experience. Sorry, goodbye. Like, it's like the excuse thing doesn't really fucking work. Because then that makes people go, what the fuck? And don't you think that's more of a disservice to humanity than just being honest and being truthful? And so we all know who wants to go on experiences and who doesn't. Like, who wants to go to the theme park and who doesn't? I mean, we all go to Disneyland to have fun, but this would be like everybody going to Disneyland to not have fucking fun. And the last time I said that line was exactly 10 years ago when I was on True Beauty filming. Let's look at the charts. Or it would be like going to Vegas and not doing anything that is Vegas-y. Like, I can't gamble. I'm not going to go to the pool in a bikini or whatever. I'm not going to stay up all night. Then why go to Vegas? You know what I mean? Why? Why go to Vegas then? You're not going to do any of that shit. It's a crazy world we live in, but it's a beautiful world. And it's a world that's truly ready for us to have the best, most amazing adventure of our lives. But if we're going to be afraid of that, or just continue to create more and more and more reasons not to, even though you want to, because that's what I'm trying to hit on people, is there are experiences that you want to have that you're creating some sort of block, and you're like, no. I mean, please don't waste this. Like, I've done this a long time. There's astrologers who've done it longer, of course, but most of them not on camera like this and truly expressing the horoscope to you like this every day. And as we were closing 2020 here, and let's take a look at this chart while I give you this emotion, although probably people will want to see my face, but here's this sun. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to change. We're changing things up here. I actually changed it and we were doing new colors. Actually, we're gonna do a little yellow. So here's the sun here at 20, and the sextile I'm talking about over to Pluto at 2102. Here's 2025. So we have that nice sextile that you can see, okay? And so this is where it's like you have to make a change in your life. You know that now. Transformation has to happen. Here's Jupiter on Tuesday here, 2546, past the shadow point, which is at 24 degrees. So now we are totally at full speed with Jupiter. Jupiter's about to go fast. It is going fast. But the galactic center is 26. So, I mean, here it is, the sun and Pluto aligning to make a complete just overhaul, transformational, like cut out all the shit that's holding you back. Cut out all the blocks. Just imploded. 8 of Cups, just later. Let's go. I'm going to go see what this is all going to bring. Or I'm afraid and I don't want to and I'm not going to. Pretty simple with that. Plus with this full moon, look at this. Moon 26 degrees on Algol. I just ran this chart 6:50 p.m. Pacific. So we just had that full moon today. And as that moon is leaving, it really is ready to have the best life possible. I mean, these higher degrees of Taurus right here, this is where you get into the Pleiades. All right? And we get into these 7 sisters, right? And Algol's one. We got Aldebaran. And this moon is covering these Pleiades. And this is down here where Antares is, which when you actually get to 9 degrees or 10 degrees now of Gemini. And I'm going to show you guys these fixed stars coming up here. But I'm going to start to get into star system shit because this is that intergalactic shit that I'm talking about with Jupiter at its thing. But I just want to say with this moon on Algol, like we get the term alcohol from Algol. Because a moon on, or anything on Algol can turn into a raging anything, it's the demon star. Or do you use that power for something good? And then you can use it for something good. I'm born with the moon at 28, so I got moon on Algol, like, trust me. Like, I took drugs and alcohol fucking all the way to the limits, you know what I mean? And then I realized that I can't do this work and be doing that shit, you know? So, like, there's something to say about where do you take the energy of this power that this full moon is covered in this Palladian energy. It's light, which is information. It's a higher vibrational consciousness. It's beautiful. Like there's 7 twinkly beautiful stars. They're in the star card. They're in a lot of different aspects in tarot. They're what represents Lumeria. They represent humanity in many ways. They represent Archangel Michael and his angels as he fights the beast, the devil of Antares. And here's Mercury retrograde today at 16:59. So let's move this so you can see this better. So 16:59. And there's Saturn at 16. So Mercury retrograde is looking at Saturn, and Saturn's saying, hey, if you're going to go review things, why don't you just go review things about, like, decisions, please? Like, can you just make some choices? Can you just, like, make choices, especially about commitment and actually going on these adventures? Because I really don't want to fuck around. Like, I really don't want to, like, everybody thinks that Saturn's, like, patient. Actually, Saturn is, like, the most impatient. About once it's already got the plan and it's like, get it forward, Saturn gets frustrated. This is where we get the frustration from. Of course, the higher form of Saturn is patience, but it learns patience through frustration. So Saturn's frustrated at Mercury retrograde for Mercury being like, well, I don't know. I still have more data to go get you, Saturn. Like, I got to go and I'm hanging out with the Wicked Witch. I'm hanging out with herpes. I'm hanging out with HIV. I'm hanging out with this. I'm hanging out with that. I'm hanging out with, like, in Scorpio world, right? Like, I'm hanging out with all the fucking dark shit. It's like, Saturn's like, okay, like, fuck, man. Like, are you gonna, like, choose, like, your desires? Like, it's actually wanting you to. Like, Saturn's actually kind of a father figure, kind of like, did you go into the strip club and pick your stripper yet, son? It's like, whoa, that's a weird thought. I did go to Vegas on my 21st birthday with my dad. But there is something to say about Saturn trying to help us all figure out what our desires want. And why are you thinking about the stupid shit? Saturn's looking at Mercury retrograde like, are you really? Like, I love the, like, Saturn with Pluto there, because Pluto with Saturn, you know what it is? Pluto's coming through Saturn. Like, it's giving grandpa, like, Viagra and steroids and a little bit of, like, I don't know, a Red Bull and a little bit of, like, a Marilyn Manson CD or something that he's, like, listening to and fucking being like, yeah, what the fuck? You know what I mean? You see grandpa come out like, yeah, man, like, what are you doing, you know? And we've never lived through this because it was it was literally the 1500s. So there were probably old men and old grandpas and grandmas that were pretty fucking like back then, you know? Like, whoa. I don't know if they had Red Bull back then. I don't think they did, but I don't know whatever they did. I'm sure maybe they were doing coffee. I don't think they had espressos. I don't know, but it's a little bit like grandpa all hyped up with Pluto. And he's also like determined to get whatever he wants, right? Like grandpa's like, hey, I want this. This is my time, you know? It's kind of like, reminds me of Clint Eastwood a little bit, right? Like Clint Eastwood is like still making movies in his 90s and still just like, hey kids, you know? And I love whatever that movie was where he fucks up the gangsters and shit. It's just like, that's Pluto Saturn. And with the Mercury retrograde, why are you still contemplating? Saturn's frustrated, like, grandpa's mad. Oh, bad grandpa. Did you guys ever watch Bad Grandpa? You know what, Johnny Knoxville, bad grandpa, that's Saturn Pluto. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, I don't know why. I just remember when he's in the restaurant and he shits all over the fucking booth. I got a twisted mind. But look at this other positive thing. This is the last day of Mars at 25 at least, with Jupiter at 25. They're going to both be at 26, but come on, the doorways are open. The doorways are fucking open. I cannot be more clear on the fact that this Mars is pushing the doorways open. It's pushing it. Like, come on. And actually, Jupiter's helping Mars because Mars is in detriment. So Mars needs a little Viagra, and Jupiter's giving more than Viagra. Jupiter's kind of like, here is all the power in the world, Zeus, right? Like, here's all the thunderstorms. Here's everything. Like, here's everything. What do you need? I have everything. It's like, oh, all right, I'll help you push this door open. He's like, yeah, fucking push the door open with me. You know, like, we need to get people opening into this intergalactic story. We need to get people on the galactic road. If you ever played Mario Kart, this is Rainbow Road. But everybody's always afraid of Rainbow Road. Every time I play Mario Kart with somebody, they're like, no Rainbow Road. Too much extreme. I'm like, that's the fucking fun one. Like, why are you afraid of Rainbow Road? I mean, I could just do the whole astrology off that chart right there. So let's move to Wednesday. And this chart is actually brought to you by my 2020 preparation video for this transit that's coming up, which you can go to, of course, highvibe.tv to get. And it's pretty awesome because I go really deep into it. Not only do I go into it for the whole entire understanding from now until that big transit, but it is an important time because it is a time in which we all should follow this destiny call and follow it. And I tell you all of my truth, opinions. I look at the world. I look at the galaxy. I go into connecting all the pieces. So if you go to highvibe.tv, the website, all you have to do is push content. You can go in any way too. We also have a premium section. You can click premium, and we'll go to paid video specials, and you'll see we have some awesome paid video specials by tons of awesome talent. Mine's right here, the Leo King Special Horoscope 2020 Preparation Destiny Call. And it's 2.5 hours long. You can watch the trailer here as well, which is pretty cool. And I'm sure some of you guys have seen all that. Oh gosh, yeah. So this video is going to give you the tools, it's going to give you the steps, it's going to give you the questions for you to ask yourself, to prepare yourself. It's going to give you my opinions on what best course of action to take. And you can take it or you can leave it or you can take parts of it or none of it. To me, as long as you're willing to listen, as long as you're willing to hear me and take it in and ask those questions, Do you want to be in it or not? Like that's what the call is. And that is, I think, the deepest part of this energy is when people start going, I want the energy to go back to normal. You want the energy to go back to where you don't have to participate in anything anymore. And you just want to go sit back and watch the whole show. And guess what? The universe is giving you that opportunity here as the build up to 2020. But do you really want that in your life? Is that really, but I'm not saying, maybe I'm saying that because I'm somebody who feels that I don't want it, I don't want that. So I can't judge you for being in that space. But I can tell you from an astrological point of view that sure, it might feel more comfortable to be in that space, but there is going to be something of not being fulfilled. Thanks for watching that trailer, and thanks for dropping it, Greggy. And thanks for everybody that have actually purchased it. Abby was telling that everybody was saying some nice things about it in the chat. Truly appreciate it. So let's go to Wednesday here, because the tides are definitely going to change, and it's going to be an interesting time on Wednesday. So we are at that 21 degrees. So the Sun and Pluto sextile has happened, but Mercury still has not come off of 16 degrees, and Saturn is there at 16. And remember, and I forgot to mention too, but I had mentioned it when we were channeling earlier, Neptune trine over to Mercury, and they're both retrograde. So, it's like, come on, like, this is another intergalactic energy. Like, Neptune's like, hey, I'm trying to intuitively show you that there are synchronicities. There are so many things from the spirit world that I'm trying to give you to receive. Like, receive it. Mercury retrograde's like, I'll receive it, but let me process it a little more. It's like, Saturn's like, we don't have fucking time. And here we go. Jupiter, 2555. We're coming to 26. We're coming to that degree. Mars is sextiling now at 26. So that's what I'm trying to show you guys is Mars is faster than Jupiter. So, this whole Mars-Jupiter thing is starting to close. Like, it's trying to help push the door open into the galactic center. Like, it's like now. And here's this Venus at 1455. Oh, it's 1 degree away from squaring. But the moon in Gemini at 6 degrees. Let's start to look around at it. It's really not doing much, okay? Like, it's not doing anything crazy. So this Wednesday is just about getting prepared for galactic energy that's about to come into our life, into Thursday, which is going to be intense. And I think that it's important for you to realize that this is also the second pass of Mercury to Saturn and Neptune. So this is like, are you going to continue to, are you going to keep processing the same thing over again? It's like, are you going to put the same number in the calculator? Like, have you ever done that where you added things in the calculator and you got the total and you're like, did I do it wrong? Let me do it again. It's like, that's what you're doing right now. Like, you already know the answer. Come on. I guess if you want to be one of those people that wait till Mercury comes direct next week and then Jupiter leaves Capricorn when finally Mercury comes all the way back up to this area, basically. Like, if you want to be one of those people and like when the door closes and you're like, I did the calculation the third time, it was right. Will you let me in the door? Will you let me in the fucking door? Like, oh God, don't be one of those people. Come on. I know I just called some people out. All right. Thursday. We're here. We're here, baby. We're here. 26. I wait a long fucking time for this shit in my life. And I'm not even saying for my chart. I'm just saying for the world as an astrologer. We've had a lot of passes to this galactic center over the years, especially if you take like the last 13 and 14 with Pluto that was here 14 years ago. We had Saturn come through here. We had a Mars, the Mars retrograde didn't go through there, but we've had a lot. And we haven't had Jupiter come here since Pluto's activated this space. I mean, really, actually, that's not true. 12 years ago, Jupiter and Pluto did meet at the very end. So there is something to say about 2007 and the dreams you had, that it's time for you to really put that as part of your life, you know? And make it real. You learned a lot. But as Jupiter comes to this galactic center, Venus comes to 15 degrees, and what does it do? It squares Neptune, and watch this, folks. The moon will be there at 15. I put it at 16, but you can see this T-square. Look at that. Bang, boom. So that Neptune is getting squared hard. Now, if you notice, Lilith has been down here. And the interesting part about Lilith is it's been over Neptune really intensely, just kind of sitting there actually for a while. And now it's kind of like, oh wait, I'm going to go forward now. And it's almost like, let's shock this system. Let's shock this deep, deep yearning for the spiritual understanding of what are dreams and what's possible. What good things can we have in our life? These are a lot of benefic energies. Okay, the moon opposed Venus, and the moon's going to oppose Jupiter the next day. Like, sure, they're in oppositions. This is the last moon in Gemini to oppose Jupiter. Period. Like, I don't care what sign it's in. It's just like, it won't, no more moon opposed Jupiter in Gemini, right? Like, you won't see that. So, and what's interesting as well is the new moon that's going to happen in Sag, which is going to be pretty much 2 weeks from that point. Even a little less, it'll be like 12 days, right? So yeah, the 14th, it's going to be happening on, it's going to be about 10 days. So it's going to be very important for us to realize that these are seeding points. They're seeding points in our life of what's coming. So what are you doing? Like this, there's no time to waste, folks. Look at this Mars, 2656. Look at that Jupiter, 26. That door is being pushed open. Like, just go. Like, just open. Go through experience. See. Mercury, 15. Exactly in trine. Like, let spirit be your guide. Let spirit give you the answers. Stop your fears from being the answer. Let receiving spirit be the answer. I like that. Friday. Good old Friday. We have a lot of things that are going to start to come up even more intense with the moon that's going to enter into Cancer with the North Node. So we're going to have this North Node and moon. And actually, I do want to go back because I actually forgot to bring up the yod to the moon that was also happening. So I'm going back to Thursday, everybody. This is very Mercury Retrograde. Sometimes you just forget, you know what I mean? Sorry. But not only is the T-square happening. All right, we're good now. So I'm going to use multiple colors for this because this is how intense Thursday is. All right. So the colors of yellow are going to be where we are at with the T-square, with where we're at with our emotions and the curiosity, Venus, and the adventures and the more experience we need to have with relationships and our desires, our wants. And this square over to Neptune, that's the question of whether or not this is in spiritual alignment or not, is at the exact same time we're going to have a yod with Mercury and Saturn over to the moon. All right? Now, these are fast-moving planets, the moon and Mercury, the two fastest in astrology, meeting up with one of the slower ones. So it makes it an even more faded yod in a way, because if you think about the timing of like flash, like photography, if like somebody was, going really fast, like it's a lot easier if like an elephant and I don't know, what's a big fat animal, like that's slow, like a sloth, and what moves really slow? A hippopotamus. Okay, we're all we're all in a yacht, it'd be like, okay, that yacht's gonna be there for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, they're not moving that fast. They're slow. They're big. They're like, okay, they're like outer planet stuff, right? When you see just outer planets and like one personal planet like the sun or something, it's like, that was a whole day that came to. So that's rare. But like, this is like within hours. Because when you get a yod to a moon, that's one of the most extreme yods anybody could have in life. Leo King has one. Of fate. And with the North Node in Cancer, dealing with the moon and what to understand this whole transit of where we need to aim in our life, it's about curiosity and to the environment that's exciting and to be youthful again. Why are we going to use this Mercury retrograde to be some old grandpa that's like, well, I need to have this way and all that shit? It's like, step more into the inner child, step more into the experiences. Let the old man be satisfied with that way of doing it and making it like bad grandpa, like fun, opposed to like, you know, Sopranos. But this yod to me is just like fate all over the place. This is just fate. Jupiter's at 26, Mars 26, and they're sextiling. I mean, gosh, the Sun and Pluto are sextiling at 21. Are people going to waste this, God? Like, I really am asking this question. This is my, like, bitch face. You know, like, I'm just going to be, you know what? This is my face of like when Donald Trump won the election and I called it out like a year and a half prior, and then I called it out again and I did videos about it. And I was sitting there in Portland on the election night at a live event with about 50 or 60 people. And I walked in the room and I told everybody, like, are you guys all ready to see Trump win tonight? And everybody fucking freaked out. We had people crying. People were denying me and telling me I was crazy. I was doing the talk. It's on my YouTube. You can watch it. 3 or 4 hours long. And a deep talk of how, for those people that hate Trump so much, go watch that video. It'll help you understand it's not about Trump. Like, whether Hillary won or Trump won, it's about what all these events are happening is about. It's actually a very good video for people that are triggered by it. Because anybody would be triggered, right? Half the country would be triggered if Hillary won. Half the country would be triggered if Trump won. You have to look beyond both these two people. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm giving this look because I literally remember sitting there, like the astrology was just like, there's no way this chick's gonna win, like, sorry. Like, and I'm just sitting here going like, God, doors are so powerful right now. And I almost feel like a lot of people are just not gonna open them. I don't know why. I think people are too comfortable. People are living in the old paradigm of the idea of life. I think people have put too much power into other people as far as like how to live. I had a download today, just even in my own life. Like, I'm not going to go celebrate the holidays. Like, I just don't. Like, I'm going to go do what I want to do in my life and see what happens. I don't even feel bad. It's weird. I love my family. I love all that stuff, but I'm also 35 years old. Like, when is it going to be where I just go do whatever I got to do? It doesn't mean I won't come back or anything like that. It's just like, this is just a different time of life where we all have to go find the doorways we want. But if you're basing your whole life off of all these other things and things you don't want to do, maybe you want to do that. Like, there's people who love that shit. So I'm not telling you to not do shit like that. Trust me on that one. If that's what you want to go do that shit. But as a single guy that's on my own, that lives on my own, I'm just at a place right now in my life where that just seems exciting. That seems like there's a portal that I know that I'm walking towards. And it's a good example with this moon on the North Node because we come into extreme emotions this weekend about these doorways and the hard choices that either we're going to make about opening them or not. Now that can look in a lot of ways. It could be like, I'm making a decision on what I want emotionally in order to open the door. And it's going to be tough because the moon is going to square over to Chiron. So just know that Friday's a little funky. Trying to gauge where the emotions are, some weird trying to identify feelings. Venus is already off that square to Neptune. So it's coming in now within 10 degrees of Jupiter. Now Jupiter I've always given a 10-degree orb because of the fact that Jupiter's fucking huge. Little red spot, like Jupiter. So there's a lot to say that Venus and Jupiter coming together is very powerful and big. And there's no retrograde happening with that Venus-Jupiter in a fire sign at the end of a sign. Like you have to remember that the last time that Jupiter and Venus met in a fire sign was in Leo. And when they met in Leo, Venus went retrograde. And it went retrograde in Virgo, and it came back into Leo. So it brought in Virgo's falled energy of Venus. Not putting Virgos down. People take that shit way too seriously. I'm not putting it about Virgos. I'm just saying that Venus hates Virgo. Why do you think the benefics hate Virgo? This has nothing to do against any Virgo out there. It's just because Virgo is very like, no, I have to go to this and I have to go to that and I have to do it this way. And if it's not that way, it's like, what's beneficial about that? What's about experiencing life? Like you notice, and you know what's funny? And I'm just going to bring this up. People nowadays that enjoy life, they just enjoy it. Like they laugh, they just like enjoy it. And there's no like, because they're not worried about some certain way to be or what everybody's going to think, right? Like, who gives a fuck, you know? But there's something about that we're demonizing that now. Like, you only have joy. You can only have joy if you eat this food and do that, and that's where Virgo gets all like, and the benefics hate it there because it's like, gosh, this reality is not about a specific, exact way of how it should be. And look, because destiny, you're not in control. Your mind is not in control. Sorry to say. Sorry. And this is all mental shit. Like, well, I have to eat this, you know? And I'm going to trigger even more people when it comes to health. All your health issues come from the mind and the emotional body. They don't come from like, because the chemicals are in this shit and that's what did it. That's what did it. No. No. The astrology doesn't say that. The astrology says that you stress out about that so much, it just causes the health problem. And that you don't know how to be benefic. You don't know how to be benefic. That 108-year-old lady, the oldest lady in America at Taco Bell, literally at a Taco Bell booth, eating a Taco Bell taco, is laughing. You know, that's, what do you think gives us life? Why do you think we have a beneficiary on our wills? Who's going to benefit from the death? You ain't going to get, you're not a beneficiary on the will of your own demise. Because you don't want to experience life with an open mind, with an open soul, and to allow whatever has come in from the universe that's showing up in your life to be discerning of. There's going to be some options. It's not going to just be like one thing, but you're going to be able to narrow that one thing down by making more experiential aspects to know. But if you go into things without knowing, you have just written the will, not the will to do something, but the will of your death you're not going to be the beneficiary on this. There actually is going to be no beneficiary because you didn't benefit from anything except getting no information, except the information that your mind created of what it could have been, what it kind of could have felt like. I don't really know, but I probably am better off. Do you know that though? You have to realize, folks, that we are in I'm going to bring this to a whole nother level now. As Saturn is in Capricorn here, okay, we're only pretty much, it's a 3-year transit, Saturn, right? Like we're at 2 years of this. We have a whole nother year of Saturn and Capricorn. It's going to go into Aquarius, then it's going to go to Capricorn back again, okay? And then it's going to go back into Aquarius at the end of the year. And then we got to deal with 3 years of Saturn in Aquarius. And Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius. So it's a 5.5 to 6 year transit, okay, of fucking Saturn. The hardest planet to deal with, and Pluto's there. Like, are you guys all gonna fuck this one up? We haven't even gone through the main portion yet of Saturn's wrath. Saturn hasn't even eaten his children yet. Like, oh, fuck. You know? Like, he hasn't ate his babies. You know what I mean? Like, where's that? My baby back ribs. You know? So all I'm just trying to say is, are you going to write your own will to not have the experiences to know? Fuck if it's just a small experience. Like, it's like, so I want to go back to 2015. And I'm going to be honest with you all, and I hope that in a second here, Craig will show this to people, because I'm going to ask everybody if they really believe in me and you love me for what I do and the work that I've done, and if you really believe in the astrology that I preach, I ask you to go into YouTube and type in the Leo King Light Reborn. You won't even recognize me because I was going through fucking hell. Like, I was literally going through panic attacks every day. It has 45,000 views, actually. And actually, you can see it right here. And I did not plan this, okay? Everybody here knows in the background. You can say it in the background. I did not plan this. Did I plan this? No? Nobody's going to say anything? I'm just trying to show the screen, but it won't show it, I guess. Or will it show it this way? Oh, let me disconnect this thing from AirPlay. Oh, iPad. Yeah, here we go, iPad. Okay, now it should show, right? Oh, I hate when they do that. Hold on. Gosh darn it. Okay, it should show now, right? It's just black? Does it show that? Oh, here we go. Mercury Retrograde. Okay, does it show now? Yeah, so here it is. It's called Light Reborn 2015 Venus Retrograde Jupiter Saturn transits. We're about to come into a Jupiter Saturn transit. We're about to come into a Venus Jupiter. Okay? I hope, that's where it probably takes it black, right? Hold on. Here we go, because it shows. See, oh, this fucker. Oh. It's kind of funny that it'll actually, I guess, I wonder if it'll like show, oh yeah, like I just want to get to like where it shows a chart. Oh, look at me, I was gross then. I'm not doing well. My hair's down, that means the lion's not doing well. That's how you know a double Leo's not doing well. They're not wearing the crown. The crown's off. Go and move. I guess it's just not gonna move and show the chart. I'm like 26 minutes into this thing, whatever. Go find Light Reborn, because you'll see Venus retrograde over Jupiter at the last degrees of Leo, and we're about to have Jupiter and Venus come up here in the next couple weeks. So here they are on their approach. That's what I'm trying to show, is like, here's Venus at 17, here's Jupiter, here's this moon in Cancer on the North Node, here it's squaring Chiron, but you know what? Like Friday is like, we got to make some deep emotional choices in our life on whether or not, you know, we're going to make experiences or not. And with North Node and the moon, you know, those aren't easy. Rahu and the moon don't really get along, but that moon is exalted, and that North Node, that Rahu is not. Okay? It becomes exalted when it comes into Gemini and Western. and it becomes dignified in Taurus when it's in Vedic. But it's interesting that, this is where you have to step up in your life now of like what you really want. You have to make choices now. There's no training wheels. Mercury retrograde at 13. We're coming close to the end of Mercury retrograde where we'll stop at 11 degrees of Scorpio. But Friday's not the worst of days. It's just going to be some serious shit that you know that you're going to have to confront emotionally. And it's going to help you understand where you want to take that trajectory. Because if you look at Saturday, when you look at this, bam, look at that moon, 16. Gosh, so much 16 going on. 1, Venus, 18. So we're going to have the moon, quincunx Venus. We're going to have Mars at 28. Look at, there's no more Jupiter, Mars. Sorry, everybody. That portal left the fucking station. If you all watched my 2020 preparation guide, I started to show you that that's one of the last big pit stops is this Tuesday and Wednesday, like, and Thursday, pretty much. Like, if you're gonna miss it, like, you're just gonna miss it, you know. And then that moon opposes Saturn exactly, and it's going to oppose Pluto. And so Saturday is confronting deep changes that you need to make about the authority in your life of where you're going based off the emotional fulfillment that you're seeking and being able to understand what that is by taking this Jupiter at the Galactic Center, 2633. Oh, I like there's a 33 there. I mean, it's just like, come on. Come on. And this north and south node at 9 is about to go to 8. We are moving out of the north and south node of Cancer and Capricorn. So you're not going to see a sun in Scorpio anymore with a moon in Cancer on the north node for 18 years. Time of change. Jupiter on the Galactic Center. I try to give you guys like math astrology, like you're not going to see this for 18 years. You will not see Jupiter at the Galactic Center for 12, and there will be no North Node Cancer. There will be no North Node with the moon in Cancer. There will be no dignified Saturn. There will be no dignified Neptune by that time. Like, all the big boys in their dignified energies are gone. So when I talk about this time being such a fucking major moment in portal, you know, I know people probably think that I'm just pumping this motherfucker up like a pump and dump for a stock or something. But what's sad is nobody's really investing in the stock, you know what I mean? So it's not really a pump and dump. Because everybody's afraid. This weekend, this is about, what are you so afraid of? Is the big question, 1. 2, when you come into Sunday, oh, man. The moon comes into Leo. Thank God. But it does square over to Mars. So that's going to be a very edgy, emotional transit. And plus, whenever Mars comes into the last degree of any sign, oh my gosh, you want to talk about edge? You want to talk about things getting like, you know? It's a little bit 300, like, you know what I mean? And then Libra, man, talk about relationships and the choices that we make about relationships and how intense that is. And we got Jupiter, Venus now really close, and that Jupiter's getting close to the end of that galactic center. Man, I'm riding out this Jupiter on my rising and my Mercury, Leo 26. Holy shit. And I got Mars sextiling it. That's gonna be cool. But that Mars is gonna be on my Pluto, fuck. But there it is. This is gonna be edgy, folks, about choice and about. It's gonna, thank God that Jupiter's on the galactic center with the moon in Leo. Thank God. Maybe people will actually take the fucking door. You know, whenever I see something in Leo come in that's that important, no, I'm not saying it because I'm the Leo king and I got a bunch of Leo, but it's just true. Leo is the light. Leo is the light of the sun. It is God's fucking home, you know? Like, here is this moment, and what's blocking you? That Uranus, which we talked about at the very beginning of this whole show, and Taurus. Like, are you afraid to own something new and different? Or are you worried about what other people have done with it? Or have you got self-worth issues about happiness? Like, here's Mars at the end of Libra. Like, are you worried about judgment? Do you think like you're making the wrong judgment call because you're in a Mercury retrograde? And I said it's like a little sneaky snake. But that little sneaky snake is a snake that's trying to bite. That's what Scorpio does. Why does Scorpio even have a stinger? You can see the stinger in this thing. It bites with poison. And it bites the sun. It betrays the sun. This is Judas. Betrays the sun. Why? Because it goes into darkness. So a Mercury retrograde is a little deceiving person that you're biting yourself and poisoning your own self by trying to stay on the fence and confuse yourself. And Mercury is a trickster, and it's being aspected by a malefic energy, and even I would consider Neptune a malefic. I really do believe Neptune can be very malefic. I know a lot of people think it's benefic, but you know, it could really like destroy you with addiction. It could destroy you with not being in alignment with spirit or being aligned with the wrong idea of spirit. And you know, there's something to say about this weekend where, you know, you got to bring the heart out intense, and you got to have courage to not be judged by choices you make and not judge yourself, because you're going on experiences. And you're going on, and you know what? Communication, I think, is key of the deepest part. Like, this is the temple, right? So, like, Mercury is only 1 degree away, and as Mercury's going through Scorpio, the positive part of Scorpio is it is the ruler of pyramids and temples and occult. And, like, you are going not just into that house, you're going deep all the way down into the septic tank that's way down here. So when Mercury comes down to the underworld, we're using an analogy of a septic tank. But all that piss and shit, you have to go deep into with Mercury and kind of figure out what's all down there, of what's causing the smells up in the beautiful house of Taurus. That's what this full moon was. I have an RV. I don't know if you all know, but at the top of the RVs, they have vents because those septic, like those tanks get hot, and then the shit smells off the top because they're like, well, nobody can smell it if it's up high. Well, when I go on the roof, I'm like, well, what the fuck? You know, it needs to be clean. Like, are you not smelling your own shit? If you're feared to jump into a portal, and on Monday, the last day, this is what's interesting to me. Here it is, literally the end. There's Jupiter, 2659. Here's the sun at 26, making a semi-sextile. That's a 30-degree angle. So the sun is even kind of like, let's transform into the portal. Mercury, on its last days of retrograde, there it is, 11. Here's Mars, last day being in Libra, 29 degrees. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Here's the moon in Leo. Square that Mercury retrograde. Oh, you're going to doubt? There's so much doubt coming into this galactic thing. And the ultimate way through is no doubts. I'm going through the experience, Like, this makes sense. I see the spirit. I see the connection. Let me see. Let me go into the temple and see. Let me go in there. You have no way to go until you go in. You have no way to know. And if you're going to waste this is, I mean, Jupiter to me does go through the whole galaxy, even though it's actually paper thin, believe it or not, our galactic plane is thin. Like, people think we're like this huge galaxy. Like, it is in width, but, in depth, it's not. That's what's kind of creepy. But it's like flat, too. But this is what's interesting is from 26 Sag to 0 Capricorn, that's like the galactic, zone. A lot like on how Regulus, the star of Regulus in Leo, is, from like 0 Virgo now, but it was at 29 Leo when most of us were born, unless you were born after 2012. And every 72 years it moves. But there's something to say that like this band is big enough to be a lot larger than a degree, I would say. And there's something that I've noticed in astrology charts of people that have planets from 26 of Sag to 29 to 0 Capricorn is they have a galactic mission. Period. Or if you have aspects to those degrees. And we're being aspected pretty intensely. And Mars is aspecting it too. But when Mars comes into Scorpio, it's going to be a dignified position. So that's going to be good coming into next week. After Monday, we're going to get out of the Mercury Retrograde. But you want to have these experiences so you know what to aim towards in your life and to open this major doorway, especially with Venus at 21. You know, here's Venus like, I'm catching up with you, Jupiter, and we're already at November 18th next week on Monday, everyone. I just really want people to process that one. Because as Mercury is going to stop here at 11 degrees for a while, 11, and here we have 11, right? Chiron also is getting ready to come out of its retrograde soon. I just want you all to see that there's also this sussy square there, oh man. That Mars is doubting off judgment of making the wrong decisions, or, you know, the only judgment you should make is on yourself. If you're gonna like take a leap into, even if you think maybe you're crazy, to like, are you gonna miss the doors to what looks crazy? You know, honestly, when I went to raves, like they look crazy. I remember being like, I don't know. When I went to my first rave, like I fucking was like, I don't know about this. These people look weird. Like they're wearing huge pants, they have pacifiers, like what the fuck? It was the best experience of my life. Raving saved my life. But are you gonna start playing it that way? It reminds me of those like old men in movies who are like, you know, when they like see people doing something and they're like, oh gosh, what are those people doing? Let's get back into the Corolla, honey. Yes, let's go play soccer, you know? Like that. This is about where people are going to live vanilla, or are they going to live in all 31 motherfucking flavors? And this is where it brings all back down to the colors and experiencing every color. That if you're just trying to control your whole life of, I only want to feel this one color and this one emotion, and that everybody, every project, every situation in life has to feel this one way, then I'm sorry to say you're going to fail this mission, because that's not how life works, and that's not how emotion works, and that's not fulfillment. That doesn't fill up the whole box. It doesn't create rainbows either. It needs every primary color to create a rainbow. And primary colors, when they come together, can make a prism of all light, of all colors, including black, including dark purple mixed with fucking crazy orange. Can make seafoam green, which is my favorite color, and turquoise. And I'm going to just show everybody as we end here the timeline. Let me just move the hours here, and I'm going to put the top of the chart. Okay, I'm going to show you the end. And you should get my video, because I'm going to show you why the end is not going to be fun for some. There it is, a new moon approaching with a dark moon in Scorpio, November 24th. I don't think you all are ready to understand that Venus and Jupiter meet with a dark moon. Like, sure, there's a door open, but like, I mean, come on, folks. Like, watch this as the new moon shows up. You know, like Venus has moved into Capricorn with a south node. Sure, Jupiter will be at the end of Sag, but that new moon time, I'm telling you folks, like, there's not a lot left of time. And then watch this. You just go a couple days later and Jupiter goes into Capricorn. Bam, December 2nd, done. So, and that's all with the south node. And look at that sun, and look at that Sag sun. It's just all by itself. Remember, Sagittarius is a fire sign, so don't get me wrong. It's got fire, but it's mutable fire. It's spread out fires. It's not condensed. It's not fixed like Leo. It's not a fire starter like Aries. But it's kind of like those burning coals at the edge of the fire pit. And there's something to say about it where sure, it could spread like a wildfire, right? By beliefs, right? That's why we say like it spread like a wildfire. But if you ever notice that wildfires tend to go out, they don't last a long time. And when a sun is by itself in Scorpio, and in Sag, and there's no other fire energy going on, except for Chiron, oh great, wonderful. We're gonna feel the darkness. Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter, now our hope is crushed in Scorpio and Capricorn, it's fall. That's why I'm saying this week, folks, like, I'm sorry, but don't waste this one. Anyway, I just want to say thank you all for everybody being part of High Vibe, being part of this. Truly appreciate it. I just want to let everybody know we didn't do it yet because it's Mercury Retrograde. But the show is going to stay free. But the way it's going to work, and this is a way to get people on High Vibe, and it's pretty simple. You're going to see the show just how it is. It's going to be on YouTube, premiered, but it won't be live streamed anymore. The live stream is going to be on the app. Then we're going to take that and premiere it on YouTube at about the same time, so it's not going away. But right when we get to the charts, you're just going to hear more of the audio and you're going to see a graphics about subscribe. Because that's how much I value this full moon. And Taurus has taught me the value of the work that I do for High Vibe. And that I'm still offering to those that, might not be able to do it. You're still going to get deep astrology, you're still going to get channeling, and you can hear me talk about the charts. But that's a way to help move people over. And for all the subscribers that are on High Vibe and getting all the daily content from me and all of my weekly content for the sun sign horoscopes and all my intuitive and all that stuff. So that's going to be how it's going to be going out from here. And but I just want to let you know, like, it's here. Because last time when we tried this, like, we tried to go live and then we'd pull it down and everybody got pissed. And I get it, because like I didn't get how to make this a fair exchange. And so I love you all so much, but I also, with this full moon in Taurus, like, I have to own the value of this show. Like, I've had people that, like, I can't say names because it's insane the amount of people around the world that I didn't believe watch me, telling me to do this. That the other information out there is just not like this. The other information out there is not this deep. The other information out there, like, we are here late at night. We're like, I feel actually bad for everybody that actually supports me in my life personally, because like their lives are like surrounded around giving this information out, and it's hard because it's killing me to be able to put this out and not get the return back. As far as just to be able to keep the lights on and to make the people that help make this show together live a better life. To give to the world. And it's fucking killing me inside. And I'm killing myself, doing everything I can to scramble to do it all. And I know some people just tell me to go out like on the street on my cell phone and do this. I'm sorry to say that this show is done in such a way, with the way that the charts are and the way that I channel, and the way that we do it is so the information is impactful. So I'm stepping through the portal, and I hope that I see you on the other side. But I will still be giving you the show, just not the chart portion anymore. And I appreciate all those that support and will move over. And I just have to own my worth, and I have to also be somebody who owns that worth and represents that worth to the people that follow me. And I asked for you to watch that Light Reborn. My guides are saying there's something so important for all you to understand at that time in your life of August of 2015. And it was interesting at that time for me because it really was the beginning of the Leo King app, and I was doing the Uncut back then. And it was at that time that I made a choice in my life after coming out of a mental hospital for 5 weeks. I was not inpatient, I was outpatient. But it was at a time for me where I had to go step into my light fully. And then I got the studio that was before this studio, and I started doing my videos every day. And from there, and doing Uncut from there, and doing spiritual dance music from there, and shifted it and made a big call. And it got me to here. I don't know where it's going to take next, but our hope here at High Vibe is that we make this a full community. I mean, we had like over 40 people here last night. People drove from other states. People drove from like so far away. And we have a community that we're really wanting to make real and make you part of it. And it's a show like this that gets people over there. I don't know what else, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to just use and maybe I should hold my tongue, but I'm just going to say it. But like, I know that there is not a better astrology show out there. Period. I've looked. I have a Jupiter in Capricorn. I look at the competition, and I see a lot of copycats. But the real shit is here. I love you all. We got After Dark, and I wish I would leave you with just a lot more hope or whatever. I gave it all to you all. I'm having a difficult time just in my life right now, just giving it all out because it's a lot, and I'm tired. And my personal life is gone. Gone. And it's just a gnarly time, and I have to own the worth and the work, and in order to do that, the people that make this happen here need to be also to where they can have a life too. And I can't do it the way it's working right now. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. I can't. I really cannot. It sucks. I wish I could just hear everybody go everything and just, I wish. It's not like we're trying to rob you for $10 a month, you know what I mean? To get all that and a daily video from me. And we have so many other amazing people on High Vibe. So I just, I love you. And I know wherever the journey goes forward, I know that I'll see you there. See you on After Dark. So this video is going to give you the tools, it's going to give you the steps, it's going to give you the questions for you to ask yourself to prepare yourself. It's going to give you my opinions on what best course of action to take. And you can take it or you can leave it or you can take parts of it or none of it. To me, as long as you're willing to listen, as long as you're willing to hear me and take it in and ask those questions, do you want to be in it or not? Like that's what the call is. And that is, I think, the deepest part of this energy is when people start going, I want the energy to go back to normal. You want the energy to go back to where you don't have to participate in anything anymore. And you just want to go sit back and watch the whole show. And guess what? The universe is giving you that opportunity here as the build up to 2020. But do you really want that in your life? Is that really, but I'm not saying, maybe I'm saying that because I'm somebody who feels that I don't want it, I don't want that. So I can't judge you for being in that space. But I can tell you from an astrological point of view that sure, it might feel more comfortable to be in that space, but there is going to be something of not being fulfilled.